Assalamu alaikum to all of my students. Hope you all are fine. Today I am going to take the concept of census and sample. What we call census and sample. Census and sample. Generally, if I give you example, if you observe the surroundings, previous census was done 2002, yes, 2011, 2011. But at present, 2206, census is being done presently, as enumerators are doing census related to population. Then what we call census, what we call sample. I will give you example for understanding this concept. What we call census, what we call sample. For example, if there are 2000 students in a college, 2000 students in college. For example, if investigator has collected information relate their background, relate their family background, relate their family background, family background. What is their family background? He can do it in two ways. For example, he can collect information related to all, 2000 students, all, right? Collection of information related to all, collection of information of all 2000 students. That we call census. But when he collect information among 2000, only 20, for example, only 20 students, only 20 among 2000 he collect information on only 20 students. That we call sample. Among 2000 students, among 2000 he has collect information only 20 students among 2000 students. Then this we call sample. But this 20 students should represent the whole 2000 students. Whatever will be the characteristic of these 20,000 students, characteristics of these 20,000, that should represented by these 20 students. All characters that are in 2000 students, that should represented by 20 students. That we call sample. Another concept, population, or we call universe. Population, or we call universe. Generally, in population we call persons living in persons, number of persons living in village, town, or city, state, number of. But in statistics, we did not call population number of persons living in a village, but aggregate of items taken for inquiry or investigation. investigation, inquiry or investigation. Means in statistics, whenever I will talk of population, you have to consider aggregate of items taken for inquiry. Aggregate of items taken for inquiry, not population, number of persons. Meaning in statistics, we count population as item, as a number of items. Number of items. With the passage of time, there are other terms with the passage of time, definitely, just like I discussed numerators, respondents, as I will discuss different terms of statistics with the passage of time. Now, I will discuss what we call census method. In census method, in census method, census method, to collect information, collect information, or data we can call, collect information. In census method, when investigator had to collect information, yes, every item, every item, data has to be collected. Means, for example, if we had to collect information for example, any village, definitely investigator will collect the information. Investigator will collect the information, relate to every household, relate to every household. Means for any village, whenever census investigator has to collect information, for relate any village, definitely he has to collect information related to every household. Means he has to collect information of every individual, every individual, every individual. Now, when every item has to be taken into consideration for investigation, for inquiry, and census method. Now, what is the suitability of this method? Why this method can be applied? This method can be applied. First one, small size. Small size. Means where, for example, if this census method is utilized, this is suitable for small where there is a small population, small size of population. Then the information collected becomes easy. To collect information becomes easy for the investigator if population is small in size. First, second, yes, accuracy of data. Accuracy of data means this method is applied whenever, yes, whenever investigator need accurate information, then at that time this method is applied. As another method, when we have to read a sample method, in that there may be lack of information may be wrong, but when investigators need accurate information, correct information, then definitely this method is suitable. As we have to take into investigation for inquiry all the units which are to be for, yes, related to all units, we have to information had to be collected, then information will be right, not few. As I tell you, among 2000 students, only 20 students are taken into consideration in sample method. There 20 someone may be provide wrong information. That information will be wrong, as they are 20,000, yes, 2,000 students among 20 students. It is impossible. What characteristics are exist in these 22,000? It is not possible that all characters will be in 20 students. Means, and our investigation need accurate information. Then census method is best method. Yes, accuracy of the data. Yes, third one. Intensive intensive examination. Intensive examination means, in if we compare, just make comparison between census and sample method. In sample method, when we take few, yes, few samples from the census, from the population, definitely this sample, the taking sample from the census among the population of 2,000 students, for example, 2,000 students, only 20 students. Here we cannot do the intensive examination. Like, we have only taken few samples of from the census. But when we need intensive examination, when we need information related to every unit among 2,000 students, then definitely census method is better. Census method as compared to sample method. As these samples, 20, yes, 20 units cannot give us accurate information related to every 2,000 students. Yes, among 2,000 students. As we have 2,000 students, we are taking only 20 students. These 20 students cannot give us accurate information related to whole 2,000 students. Means in census method, intensive examination is done. We can, yes, we can do intensive examination relate every unit. But how it is possible in 20 units among 2,000 students? We can only 22 students we can do intensive examination. It is impossible. But in census method, definitely it is possible. Third one, diverse items. Means when units are not same, units are not same. They are different in characters. Differ and units are different characters. When a diverse items, census is better. For example, when there are diverse and for when there are adult, child, these are, if we make analysis, these are different in characters. An adult has a different characters, child has different characters. Child possesses different characters, adult possesses different characters. And when we have to collect information, definitely diverse items, definitely we can easily use census method. Yes, we can use census method. These are the few pointers related to why census method is applicable, why this method can be utilized. But in sample, as I tell, census sample is we take few as units from the census and for inquiry purpose. Why this sample? Why, yes, varied census method. In next lecture, definitely I will discuss sample method. What we call, yes, sample method. What are the suitability or the applicability of the sample method? Then we take merits and demerits of census, both census and sample method. Till that time, you have to wait and watch. I will be return back very soon. Hope for the best. Take care. Thanks.